Welcome back, everyone. It is Eric from Rare Candy, and today we're finally going to be taking the new Iron Valiant EX for a spin. So a big shout out to Brandon over on Patreon. He pointed out I somehow actually hadn't covered this deck yet. There's just been so many new decks from Paradox Rift, and this one up until now just kind of fell by the wayside for whatever reason. But definitely an important new card that we're getting from the set. Iron Valiant EX has the Tachyon Bits Ability, so whenever it moves from the bench to the active spot, you can put 2 damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon. And actually, if you go against decks like Gardevoir, Chien-Pao, Lost Zone decks that have a lot of these low HP Pokemon, it's actually not too hard to even get a turn 1 KO before your opponent can even draw a card for their first turn of the game. So this deck definitely has big, expanded PTCGO ladder energy. I don't know if you ever played the expanded ladder back on PTCGO, but you would run into a lot of decks like this. And I think it's the first time in Standard we have something kind of in that vein. But Iron Valiant EX, it's not the best attacker in the world. It doesn't have a lot of HP. Its attack cost is kind of heavy as well. So we are pairing this card up with Rapid Strike Urshifu VMAX, since this card is sort of the complete opposite. It's a very tanky 3-prize Pokemon with 330 HP, has a single energy attack in the form of Gale Thrust, but also it has the G-Max Rapid Flow attack that sort of synergizes well with our whole sniping damage counter placing strategy that we have here. And before we get any deeper into the nuts and bolts of this list and get in some games, if you guys do need any code cards to complete this deck for yourself, feel free to check out friends of the channel over at PTCGLstore.com. Use coupon code RARECANDY at checkout for a discount. And Rare Candy's patrons not only had early access to this deck list, but also have their own exclusive discount code for even bigger savings. Links to those will be down below in the description. But let's get back into our list here, guys. Another very important Pokemon of the deck is going to be Medicham V. We're already running Rapid Strike energies for our Urshifus anyways, so we can use this Yoga Loop attack from time to time as well. And frequently, you can even use it on turn 1 of the game, because again, if you are going against, let's say, like a Chien-Pao deck, and they have their Frigibacks in play, if you go second, you can do a bunch of Iron Valiant shenanigans, then eventually switch into your Medicham and use Yoga Loop to knock out their Frigibacks turn 1, and take an additional turn. And there's just so many decks right now that you can do this against. Again, whether it's Chien-Pao, Lost Box, Gardevoir, Charizard, the list goes on. And the only other Pokemon we have is Squawkabilly EX for that Squawk and Seize attack, or ability I should say, but we really just want a big explosive turn 1 to try to take a turn 1 knockout if possible, and Squawk and Seize is going to be one way we can help make that happen. As you can see in our trainer cards, we've maxed out 4 copies of every major switching card that exists right now in the game, but another new one that we're getting that helps this deck is the new Future Boost Energy Capsule that reduces our retreat cost to 0 and makes us do 20 more damage if it's attached to a future Pokemon. And we also have a copy of the brand new Technical Machine De-Evolution. So this is a card right now I'm just kind of experimenting with. I don't know if I want to keep it in the list or not, but in theory, at least in the late game, if we go against like a Charizard deck, a Gardevoir deck, etc., sometimes this De-Evolution attack can still be good to help us win the game, because we can set up a bunch of damage on, let's say, each of our opponent's Charizard EXs, and then come in at the end of the game, de-evolve them, and let that damage that's already on them knock them out. Another new card that we have is Techno Radar, so we do have to discard a card from our hand, but then we get 2 future Pokemon and put them into our hand. So it's just another way to make sure we can get our Iron Valiants in play. The stadium that we're going to be running is going to be Town Store, and we definitely do need a counter stadium just because Path to the Peak absolutely bodies this deck. So this will allow us to search a Pokemon tool card out of our deck, put it into our hand. We have 3 different tools that we want to use anyway, so this will allow us to more easily be able to find this when we want them. And especially with Forest Sealstone, this kind of turns your stadium into search your deck for any card, if you want to think of it in that way too. As you can see, we have 2 copies of Melanie in the deck. We are playing a few basic water energies here, and we will be able to more easily power up both our Rapid Strike Urshifu and our Medicham V with this from time to time. And I think the only other notable trainer card we have is going to be Energy Lotto. So we could play something like the new Earthen Vessel or Energy Search, but we can't actually get our Rapid Strike energies with those, so that's why I am choosing to play this for the moment. And speaking of Rapid Strike energies, we have our 4 copies of those, and like I said, the 3 basic water energies to go with it, just to be able to fuel those Melanies that we have. But that's going to be the list we're trying out today, guys. Like I said, I think we really want to hit decks like Chien-Pao, Lost Box, etc., and I think we really want to dodge probably Roaring Moon and Mew VMAX. Those seem like pretty sketchy matchups for us. But with that being said, be sure to smack that like button to feed that YouTube algorithm. And let's jump into some games and see how this Iron Valiant deck is going to do. Okay, so looks like we are going to be going against Miraidon. Now the question is, do they actually decide to get down Mareep against us? That's the thing that they have to decide, because if they do get down Mareep, they open themselves up to Yoga Loop. But if they don't, they might not be able to, you know, keep chaining their attackers. So I think Miraidon's definitely a great matchup for us. Not only do we hit them for weakness, but we also can pick off their evolution that they have. Yeah, they got Mareep down. That's cool. I actually don't know if the Zapdos is important in this matchup. Like, what numbers is this going to fix for them? I really don't know. Getting this down actually might be an oversight, because we can still Gmax Rapid Flow this and still be on even prizes, even if we knock out this Mareep. So definitely a pretty good first turn from our opponent. Absolutely. This is a misplay. Absolutely. 100%. If you're going to get down Bravery Charm, it should go Mareep. So I'm going to attempt to punish our opponent for that if possible. So VIP Pass, definitely going to get Squawk and Medicham here. And yeah, seems good. So we will just Techno Radar. We'll get rid of Water Energy. We need Rapid Strike Energy this turn. So we'll grab these. So Escape Rope. We'll have to see what our opponent wants to give us. Looks like Raichu. Okay. But yeah, we'll do 20 on Mareep there. If we miss the Rapid Strike Energy, we could still get a KO with Iron Valiant, maybe? I don't know. I almost kind of don't want to get anything down to make sure Raikou can't knock us out if we whiff this. So I think we're going to Rope. Oh, actually, the Zapdos here does make a difference. Because if we whiff, Raikou actually can knock out Medicham. Ooh, that's actually a small oversight. So we should have actually just gotten down the other Pokemon just to thin it out of our deck. I forgot about the Zapdos here. So yeah, I think we just have to commit that we're going to hit what we need. And yeah, so big Squawk and Seize here. Otherwise, we're just going to feed them a free 2 prizes. Okay, so we did get there though, guys. So we can... Yeah, we actually have a lot we can still do. So let's go ahead and for Seal Stone, we will Nest Ball. I think it's probably better just to get another Urshifu at this point, because the extra 20 doesn't change much other than in regards to this Mareep. So we're just going to get down another Urshifu here. And Town Store just to thin our booster energy capsule. Oh, do we prize both of those, really? That's fine, I suppose. I guess we'll just grab 4 Sealstone just in case we don't use one this turn. And I don't know, our opponent vacuums one or something. I don't know. That seems fine for the moment. And we'll just Iono here. Kind of a bummer. We do have to finally use... Ugh. Like, yeah, we can Yoga Loop, guys, but this is not a great hand to follow things up with. But I think we have to do it, though. That's the issue. We're just kind of hoping that we can hit something good off the prizes. We do have... Oh, yeah, we have a couple of research prize, so... And we didn't get rid of any. Yeah, so we actually have decent odds of hitting something good off of our prize here. And yeah, we'll just go for the Yoga Loop, pick off Little Mareep, and hopefully we can jump back into things here with this next turn. So between this top deck and this prize, we need something good. Okay, and we do get the research, so that's actually huge. And now, let's go ahead and Town Store here. grab this TM. Probably not going to need that for this matchup. So we will switch cart. Where do we want the damage? Does it really matter at this point? Because if we Gale Thrust this turn, it doesn't really matter it being here. We'll start putting it on Squawk just in case we want to go for G-Max Rapid Flow. That seems okay to me. So we'll switch cart. Honestly, I might switch back into Metasham here, just because we can hard retreat it if we need to. Because we still need to evolve into our Urshifu VMAX before we can Gale Thrust. So, yeah, let's just do this. Okay, awesome. That worked out pretty well. So, yeah, we'll evolve into this guy here. Get down this, and I think we're feeling pretty good, guys. I don't know how our opponent's going to come back from this one. So, yeah, let's just go ahead and retreat. Save the switches so we can do more Iron Valiant shenanigans. And yeah, we'll just Gale Thrust here for the KO. So like I said, the Bravery Charm coming back to bite our opponent. That definitely would have saved them from the Yoga Loop play. But we definitely want to punish them and teach them that lesson here. Okay, Boost Energy Capsule, definitely good. So it is possible for our opponent to get this KO, but they need, what, like 6 energy in play with Raichu? So they're going to have to... No, they can't even do it now because they've already used 2 generators. They would have needed 3 generators to make this play happen. So I think that's a wrap. I think in theory, the only way they don't just lose is ending the turn with Squawk in the active since it's resistant to fighting, but we can get around that. We have Rope, we have future Boost Energy Capsule switch, so I don't think our opponent has an out at this point. I could be wrong though, unless they're playing like, I don't know, the Yveltal that can discard our energy or something like that. Oof, just a pass over to us. So that is indeed rough, but unfortunately for them, we have the Melanie, so we can just guarantee the G-Max Rapid Flow for the game here. So yeah, G-Max Rapid Flow, knock out Raichu, and knock out Zapdos. I mean, I guess we could have knocked out Squawk as well, but yeah, this definitely feels like a pretty one-sided matchup here. But to be fair, like I said, our opponent did kind of misplay, but yeah, still them being weak to fighting, I think alone is already like enough to help us win this one. What are they going to open the game with? That's the next question. Let me see a Comfy. Let me see a Frigibax, Ralts. Feed me any of those. We'll be happy to see it. But they have Pikachu sleeves, so maybe it's a lightning deck. We'll have to see. Oh, Bidoof. My man. It's a wrap. I'm sorry to tell you, but it's over. Battle VIP pass. Right, do we just instantly win? Because we can Town Store to get future Boost Energy Capsule. We have 2 switching cards, so yeah, we just instantly win here, I think. Let me make sure those are actually in deck. Otherwise, we might have to do something different. Okay, we do have one. So we switch into Iron Valiant one, Escape Rope into the other. Yeah, so that's the game, guys. And this is a peak Iron Valiant right here, I have to say. This is what it feels like a lot of your wins end up being. The games aren't very exciting, but it at least shows why this card potentially might be so powerful. So there's the Tachyon Bits. Switch cart. Tachyon Bits number 2. And there's the Boost Energy Capsule. And Tachyon Bits number 3. Our opponent's probably just like, bro, I didn't get to draw a card. This game sucks. But yeah, that's what the Iron Valiant deck does a pretty good job at doing. Pooh, I am so sorry, my friend.
About you. Oh, do it again. Okay.
I think we just win here. Yeah, because as long as we have our future Boost Energy Capsule in deck. Oh, I am so sorry, my friend. But it must be done. So, Town Store. Also, side note, what deck is this? We see a Purloin, not a card we see too much of. So we'll go switch. Switch cart. And future boost energy capsule. And we're going to ruin this person's day probably, but that is the deck. Tachyon Bits for the last 20 damage, knocking out Purloin. Yeah. There's the concession. Unfortunately, we do have to take a mulligan here. I mean, our deck, like our deck box, or not deck box, our sleeves already kind of give away what we're playing, but it feels bad having to like officially reveal it, and they could play things differently as a result. But I don't know, they're going first, so they would probably bench extra Pokemon no matter what. But this is going to be Chien-Pao, so this should be a pretty good matchup for us, assuming we get the turn 1 Frigibax Yoga Loop play. And it definitely is possible. We have the Rapid Strike Energy, plus I don't know if we have enough cards to be able to get down our Medicham V plus 2 Iron Valiant with this opening hand. We'll have to see. Oh, they're going for 3 Frigibax. They're not playing around. I don't blame them, though. I think no matter what, we... do this and this. Because, again, I think we have to just get down our Medicham here. Now, since we have research, there is a world where we save. I mean, we do this no matter what, but I'm just debating, do we get 2 more Iron Valiant, or do we guarantee one of our switching effects here? If we research into a handful of switching effects with no Iron Valiants, that kind of just feels bad. So I hate doing this, but I think we have to do this. Oh, did we really prize? Ooh, that is rough. Okay. We do have our heavy ball, but yeah, this was almost pretty bad for us. So we need 3 switching cards, but we still have access to Squawk as well. Okay. Okay, we got there, guys. So we can escape rope. Sure, I think we just target down a bench Frigibax. Switch cart. And yeah, we do have to use our 4 Sealstone to make this happen, which is a little bit unfortunate, but because I really wanted to get down Urshifu this turn. That was the big card I think we really needed here. But what am I looking for? Oh yeah, we need another future boost energy capsule. And from there, we'll just retreat. And we have the turn 1 Yoga Loop, which is good, but our next turn is looking a little bit weak, I'm not going to lie. So get this. Get a water energy. Okay, so we can at least knock out Frigibax this turn. Heavy ball. Okay, that's good. We can work with that. What else do we have prized here? Okay, nothing else important. Just the extra Iron Valiant. So I will point out, it's actually possible we might be able to actually get a double KO. Because if we can use 3 Iron Valiants to pick off this one, we can use Smash Uppercut to knock out the active Frigibax. Doesn't seem that bad to me, so I think we're just going to research this hand, go all in. It does feel bad losing all of those supporters, but yo, guys, I think we got there. That is so disgusting. So let's go for the switch cart. Oh my god, this deck is so nasty against these. Like any deck that has these low HP basics like this. Switch card again. Yeah. 20 over here. Switch again. Are we going to see the concession? I'd be willing to bet. If I was my opponent, I would not put up with any of this nonsense either. So we'll grab that. Techno Radar, don't need that anymore. I think we use Town Store just to thin extra cards out of our deck at this point. So we Nest Ball, absolutely. We need to get down Urshifu. We just need to be able to draw into a supporter for next turn. That's the big thing. Might even grab the TM here just to threaten it. To maybe bait them into an Iono or something. Yeah, we'll just retreat. and go for the smash uppercut. And no, to our opponent's credit, they really did try to get down, you know, all of their Frigibacks to guarantee a Baxcalibur, but now it's going to take them 2 turns probably if they want to make that happen. Because they need to rod all of those dudes back into their deck and then still get out multiple of them. Like if you're the Chien-Pao player, you're just probably like, bro, like, what do we do? Oh, man. And honestly, if they bump our stadium with Pokestop, we actually might want that too. Because then we could... Okay, they're just going to go for the Hail Blade. That's fine. That means it's still going to be a couple turns before they can attack again. So we have plenty of time to just win the game. Yeah, there's the concession. That's hard to come back from, having 3 Frigibacks knocked out before you get a turn 2. Yeah. Alrighty guys, that's going to wrap things up today for Iron Valiant EX. And as you can see, this deck is so oppressive against like all these decks that have these low HP, 60, 70 HP basics. And it really feels like those matchups are sort of hard to lose as long as you open with like a halfway playable hand. Now, again, in terms of if you want to run this deck, you do have to watch out for MuVimax and Roaring Moon. Those are definitely going to be, I think, some of the bigger decks that really give Iron Valiant some trouble. If you can manage to dodge those, it feels like this deck is pretty well positioned. So I think it does remain to be seen where Iron Valiant is going to fall in this new Paradox Rift metagame. But with that being said, if you guys did enjoy today's content, as always, remember to smack that like button for me. And if you're feeling a little bit extra generous, you can always become a patron at patreon.com/rarecandytcg or pick up some merch at rarecandytcg.com. But as always, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.